Hi everyone, my name is Laura, and for this week's concept, I chose to do what does it mean to communicate as a business professional? What is professionalism? We hear this term a lot, especially in the business degree program, and professionalism is about how you carry yourself at work. It's about how you interact and communicate with others. Some of the professionalism that was described in the book to us was to perform at a high level. That means to always try your best and to exceed your expectations and to work hard. Another one was conducting yourself with purpose and pride. This shows your company that you're there to work and that you're going to conduct yourself in a certain way. It's going above and beyond minimum expectations. It's not only exceeding your expectations, but exceeding your boss's expectations, your client's expectations. It's showing how professional you can be by working harder than what you need to when you're at work. Another one is to make meaningful contributions. When you are contributing to your company, you are showing them how valuable of an associate you can be, and that can really benefit you in all of your future employment endeavors. Being dependable and accountable is a big one. When you're in a professional work environment, your company, your clients, your colleagues, they all want to make sure that you're going to be at work, you're going to be on time, you're going to make the meetings correctly, and that you're accountable for your actions. Even if you make a mistake, you're going to own up to them and you're going to try your best to fix it. All of these things go into being a professional. I put this in here because this was in the book and I thought it was a great way to identify the 6 elements of professionalism. It has be the best, which is striving to excel and excelling at every level. So it's always working hard to be the best and to meet and exceed those expectations that have been set for you. Being dependable, this is extremely important because not only to your employer and your colleagues, but to your clients as well. People want to work with somebody who's going to be dependable and reliable, and it's important that you do that. Another one is to be a team player. People want to work with someone who wants to be there and who's there for the good of the company and for each other. Being a team player will help you go far in a company, and it will help you to gain the trust and respect of the other people that you work with, which leads us into the next one, which is being respectful. Having good business etiquette is a sign of respect to those you work with, to the clients you talk to, and to the management that you are under. It is important to always be respectful and to treat everybody the same way you would want to be treated. Another thing is to always have a positive attitude. People want to work with someone who has a positive attitude. They want to work with someone who wants to be there, who's there for the good of the company, who wants to succeed and excel. And they're much more willing to work with somebody who's positive than someone who has a negative attitude. Being ethical is extremely important for an element of professionalism. Any company or employer and client, colleague, they want to work with someone who they know are going to make ethical decisions, make sure they know their options, and choose the decision that's going to be the most ethical for everyone involved. Understanding what employers expect is extremely important. It's how you can move up in a company. It's how you can get a job. The first one that the book discusses is acquire, process, and share information. This is important because an employer wants to make sure that you're going to get the information you need. They want to make sure you're going to understand what that information entails, and they want to make sure that you're going to share that information with the right people, whether it be share that information with your client or with a colleague who's on the same project or with a manager. So acquiring, processing, and sharing information is extremely important. A company also wants to make sure that you're using critical thinking skills. This is extremely important because an employer looks for somebody who can think outside the box, who can come up with new ideas and plans and solve problems. And so it's important that you have strong critical thinking skills. Another important aspect that employers look for is using strong communication to build working relationships. This is not just relationships within your company, but it's relationships with vendors, clients, management. Strong communication is how you can build strong working relationships, so it's important to work on your communication skills. They also want to make sure that you're a strong representation of yourself in the company. Employers want to make sure that even when you're not at work, that you're conducting yourself in a way that the employer would be happy to call you an employee, because people know where you work, people know who you are, and that reflects on the company, even if it's on your own time. They also want to make sure that you're using all available tools at your disposal. Most companies make sure that you have every tool you need to be successful. And so companies want to make sure that you are using those tools to the best of your ability and that you're applying them to your work and to your knowledge. Another aspect that employers look for is being proactive. It's important to always be proactive and not necessarily sit back and wait for somebody to tell you what to do. Employers like to see someone who has initiative and drive and works hard to continue to move forward in the company. Applying your skills now is something that I thought was important that the book put in there. We can all practice our professionalism skills now, whether it be with school, with your current job, or even just your everyday interactions with other people. You can practice your communications between your instructors and classmates, how you address people. You can also practice business etiquette, and you can even process the quality of work that you're doing, because the quality of work you turn in at school will reflect on the quality of work that you do in your business life. Also, you can work on your dependability and accountability by making sure that all assignments are turned in on time, that your commitment to the assignments are as strong as they would be if you were in a business setting. So we can all work on practicing our professionalism and working hard to apply what we have learned to all classes. I put this in here because it's the Formal Communication Network, and I think it's a great representation of how communication typically works in a business setting as to whether or not someone talks upward to a supervisor, or supervisors talking to an employee who reports to them, or if employees are talking to each other. I thought this was just a great way to show how the network typically will work in a business setting. Informal communication network is also important to understand, and it's when employees are interacting naturally at work or in social settings. So whenever employees are interacting about something that doesn't necessarily include work-related activities, and not necessarily only about work-related activities. However, informal communication can also be about employees who are talking about what they want from the employer. This is a way that they are communicating within each other to either voice opinions or concerns, and how they discuss things amongst each other. Audience-centered approach is extremely important. It's all about thinking about the audience you're going to be talking to. It's understanding who the audience is and that you respect who they are. It's about making every effort to get your message across. It's learning as much as possible about the audience that you're going to be meeting with. And if you don't know a lot of information about the audience, it's about putting yourself in their shoes and trying to think about how they would look at something to make sure that you have all the answers to the questions that you could be asked. Understanding your audience is extremely important, and it will help you to make better working relationships with both coworkers, colleagues, and clients as well. Well, that is it. I hope everyone enjoyed the presentation, and this is just my Works Cited page, and thank you for tuning in.